something that people fail to think about when they say that inner city youth or black folk are challenged as far as getting ahead, succeeding like anyone else. So myself personally have lived in the city. I've lived in the county before, places like that. I was definitely not a privileged individual growing up, but I had enough to get by. So when you say things like, oh, we can't get ahead because of the white man or this or that or that. So my thing is, what are you doing to change the situation personally? Because I've been in the inner city and I've seen BMWs, seen Mercedes Benzes, and I've seen Alfa Romeos, all types of expensive cars. I've seen people wear Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and all that stuff. And mind you, I'm not talking about Beverly Hills. I'm not talking about Park Slope, Brooklyn. I'm talking about the inner city, the quote-unquote ghetto, the quote-unquote projects, where all these things are actually relevant. Well, not relevant, I mean all these things are present, all these things are present and you actually see these things. So it then makes me think, why can't you use that same money or that same energy, as people like to say, and redirect it on getting out of that situation? And then maybe even helping others get out of that situation. Because what happens sometimes is the quote unquote crab in the bucket mentality, where people get out of the situation, but they don't want to help anybody else get out of that situation. And when I say help, it's not always giving you my money to help you out of the situation. It's more so what I'm doing right now. Informing you, talking to you, things like that. Some people don't think that as valuable information. The information you're receiving right now is valuable information. I'm not charging you for it, but I'm sharing it with you out of the kindness of my heart, because I feel like, why not? Everybody came from somewhere. Everybody had some sort of help accomplishing certain things. So it's almost my duty, or it is my duty, to share it with somebody else. Why hold all the information and just die with it? That's not good. That's not a service. It is a disservice and not a service. So with that said, if you have money for all those luxuries and all those things, whatever, why can't you say, pick your family up, get out of that situation, or whatever like that? You should not be working hard for your money and come home to gunshots like it's music, or come home and have to worry about somebody gonna bust you upside your head with a pipe or a bottle. That's not living. They ain't even really existing, honestly, but hey, when you have a certain skill set that you can take with you, is a great thing. If you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor, you're a nurse, a teacher, things like that, those are skill sets you can take with you anywhere. Not just in the country, you can take anywhere in the world with you, which is a great thing. So if this state's not working for you, this city's not working for you, you can up and leave and take those skill sets you already have with you and pretty much destroy and rebuild. You can go somewhere else and start over. That's a little bit of breadcrumbs I'm giving you right there. You take and make your own meal out of it. But that's what I'm getting at. Because it's like, I don't know, I guess right now, it just kind of hit me in my head a little bit. I'm thinking like, damn, so many people complain about their situations, right? But then I look at it like, what do you see when you go to, like, I'm going to use the Bronx, for example, because I'm from the Bronx. Or I could say Harlem, too, because I lived in Harlem. But let's use the Bronx, for example, right? What's on mostly every corner in the Bronx? All these different little stores, little bodegas and stuff like that, right? All right, well, in those bodegas, what most bodegas have, I mean, this usually had just about anything you could think of, but they got vape pens, they got hookah, cigarettes and all this other stuff, chips and all this stuff, and candy. Most of those things I just mentioned are things we don't even really need, right? So then you go into, say, let's stay on New York, Park Slope. You may find a couple of places like that, but you're going to find probably more fruit stands. You're going to find Whole Foods, places like that. You're going to find those types of things. And yeah, it may cost more, but maybe that might be now the sort of where people say, well, I can't afford those things. And I can see that. And that I'm totally against. I don't know why they do that, because when you think about that side of things, that's an easy fix. If they lowered the prices, maybe people would eat healthier. I'm not going to really guarantee that, though, because some people just are who they are. Even if you make the things cheaper, are they going to still, McDonald's, Burger King versus going to buy my stuff from Whole Foods and making my own meal? You got to think about that. They're not going to probably want to do that. If the prices were synonymous, maybe they would. Maybe. And that's a strong maybe, because you got some people just not going to do that. They don't care what the price is, how cheap it is. They're not going to do that. They're not going to go make their own food if it's cheaper that way or economical that way. It's still going to go to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever the case, because it just works for them. This is the way it is. But for people who be like, well, I'm on food stamps. If you're on food stamps, you can still afford, or you can still eat just like the person that's quote unquote rich, because you can use those same food stamps and get that quality food. Maybe you might have to won't get as much, but there's still ways around it. There's still ways around it in regards to that. As far as your living situation, all right, yeah, maybe your rent's $1,300, just per se, and you got like a, I don't know, 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom in the projects, and you paying that. Yeah, you getting cheap quote unquote rent, but you getting what you pay for sure. Because if you spent maybe $2,000, $3,000 on a mortgage, a home that's yours, that you own, that nobody can just come up in there and just kick you out of, you would reap more of the benefit from that, and your family be safe. You just gotta do a little more thinking on everything with this whole. Don't just have these leaders, these politicians, or whatever, these people out here talking about, it's not their fault. They can't get any better. They can't do any better. They're telling you that. At the same time, they are doing better and living better. They ain't living like that. And if you sit around and wait for them to do that for you or change your situation for you, you're going to be waiting a long time. So I suggest you make the moves yourself. And I'm going to end it right here. But honestly, I could turn this video into a 2-3 hour video, honestly, if I wanted to. I wanted to go even deeper, but this is at the 9-minute mark, so to speak, and I think I gave you enough information to set sail with. And with that, faith, health, wealth, success.